Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some pretty fascinating stuff today. We've got these excerpts from the mystical city of God, and let me tell you, it's not your typical historical read.
Oh, absolutely. 17th century text claims to reveal the life of Mary, mother of Jesus.
As told to a Spanish nun, no less. But this isn't just rehashing biblical stories, is it?
Not at all. This goes way beyond detailed descriptions of events and teachings you won't find in traditional scripture,
That's what caught my eye. Like right off the bat, it claims Mary had this incredible knowledge.
surpassing even the angels, learned through divine visions. It's quite a statement.
It really is. I mean, conversing with nature, influencing the weather, even power over demons.
It's emphasizing Mary's role as an intercessor, a bridge between humanity and the divine.
Okay, so thinking about 17th century Spain, religious authority was huge, right?
Immense sway, absolutely. Divine intervention in daily life, totally accepted.
So portraying Mary with these abilities, it's elevating her status, I guess.
You could say that. Emphasizing her unique connection to God, her ability to influence events.
And the text doesn't shy away from examples either.
Oh, it's full of them. Vivid imagery, like during their flight to Egypt.
When Mary commands the snow and rain to stop, protecting baby Jesus.
Exactly. So powerful.
Yes.
Speaks to the deep reverence surrounding Mary in this tradition.
She's not just there, she's an active force, almost like wielding this divine authority.
To protect her son. The idea that she could control nature itself, wow, would have resonated.
For sure. It's a totally different picture than, say, your average Bible story.
Speaking of which, how about the incarnation? Even that gets this cosmic makeover.
Yeah, Jesus' conception, described as this huge event, anticipated for ages.
Angels adorning Mary with inscriptions before Gabriel even shows up. It's quite the scene.
It is. And Mary herself, during a vision, understanding the mysteries of God's workings, the vastness of creation.
They actually say more books would be needed to contain all her knowledge than exist in the whole world.
Wow, that's a lot of knowledge. But wait, she's still human, right? How does that even work?
That's where it gets interesting. The text tries to reconcile her humanity with her divine role.
Okay, so she's not just there for the incarnation.
Nope. She's actively participating, engaged with the mysteries of the universe.
Human and extraordinary, all at once. But amidst all this cosmic stuff, we get Joseph, too.
Right. Human anxieties, finding out Mary's pregnant, inner turmoil, the vow to protect her.
Despite his doubts. You can feel the tension.
The text really humanizes these figures, doesn't it? Joseph, torn between love and the impossible.
And Mary's silence, offering reassurance only after the angel visits. It's a touching portrayal.
But then, bam, the nativity. This contrast, humble circumstances versus Lucifer's expectations.
Like the ruler of all creation born in a stable. Almost ironic, right?
Subverting Lucifer's expectations, worldly notions of power. Fits with Christian values, though.
Humility amidst the grandness. Then you have the Magi, guided by a divine star.
And their gifts, gold, frankincense, myrrh, each symbolizing something about Jesus.
Yeah, kingship, priesthood, and sacrifice.
Yeah.
The symbolism is pretty rich.
Layered meanings woven into the story. So you've got humility, divine intervention.
The coming of a king, but it's also a family story, isn't it? And then the flight to Egypt.
Prompted by the angel's warning. Full of danger, but angels protecting them along the way.
Even changing night into day to help them travel. It's like God is really involved here.
So that's where the apocalyptic imagery kicks in. These cosmic forces at play.
Makes you realize the stakes are pretty high. And there's this detail, too.
What's that?
When they get to Egypt, the idols are destroyed upon Jesus' arrival. Even the demons are freaking out.
Oh, yeah. Reinforces that spiritual warfare theme, right? Jesus as a threat to the powers of darkness.
He's a baby, but already disrupting things. It's a symbolic victory even before his ministry.
Absolutely. And it doesn't stop there. The text takes it further, describing Mary battling Lucifer.
Crushing his head like straight out of Genesis. She's in this cosmic battle, too.
A key player, fighting against evil. Powerful imagery. But then it shifts again.
To their life in Egypt. Humble Mary working, praying, caring for the sick.
It's a reminder, amidst the extraordinary, they still lived everyday lives, grounded in reality.
It makes you think about the Christian message, finding holiness in the ordinary, trusting God.
Resilience, too. They faced hardship, but never lost faith. Inspiring stuff.
So, incredible knowledge, cosmic drama, a battle against Lucifer himself.
The mystical city of God is full of surprises, and we've only just begun.
Right. There's a lot more to uncover as we keep going. Mary's life in Egypt and her eventual return to Israel, it's all waiting for us.
It's amazing how the text balances things. Mary's this divine figure, but we also see her in Egypt just living life.
Totally. Sewing, caring for the sick, those everyday things, it humanizes them, the whole family.
Right, and through those ordinary actions, she's embodying Christian values, charity, humility.
It's like holiness isn't just about grand gestures, it's about how you live every day, which is kind of relatable, I think.
Yeah, finding meaning in the everyday. But let's be real, their life as refugees wasn't easy.
Poverty, isolation, danger. It makes you wonder how she stayed so strong.
Well, the text portrays her as this model of resilience, never wavering in her faith, trusting God's plan.
It's inspiring how she handles it all. And amidst everything, you have this beautiful relationship with baby Jesus.
They actually have conversations. He's imparting wisdom, spiritual insights.
Uh-huh.
Pretty wild.
Imagine a toddler giving you theology lessons, but it really emphasizes their bond, something special.
Transcends the typical parent-child thing. But eventually, their time in Egypt comes to an end.
Herod dies. The angel tells Joseph to return to Israel. I guess you could say it's another reminder.
Of obedience, divine guidance. They don't hesitate, just trust and go. It's a theme throughout.
Surrender to God's will even when it's tough. And of course, the journey back isn't a walk in the park.
More angels, guiding, protecting, even providing food. Divine intervention all over again.
Like God saying, I've got you. It must have been reassuring, I guess. And when they get back to Israel.
More miracles. Mary healing a woman possessed by demons. She's not just receiving divine favor, she's a conduit.
Channeling God's power. It ties back to those battles in Egypt, doesn't it?
Definitely. Reinforces her authority over spiritual darkness. She's a powerful intercessor.
Capable of healing, delivering people from suffering. But it's not just about exorcising demons.
You're right, the text emphasizes compassion. She heals, but she also offers salvation. It's deeper.
Holistic healing for both body and soul. And that's a message that's still relevant, isn't it?
Totally. Showing compassion, helping those in need, it transcends the historical stuff.
Okay, so back in Nazareth, life settles down. Caring for family, community, it's a focus.
Again, that idea that holiness is lived out in the world, not in isolation. Mary's a testament to that.
Always serving, offering comfort. But the text doesn't just show her actions, it shows her inner life too.
Right, the constant prayer, contemplation, she's not just going through the motions, it's deeper.
Cultivating a relationship with God, drawing strength from that, it's like our actions should come from a genuine place.
Exactly, inner transformation leading to outward action. That's the balance the mystical city of God seems to be pushing.
Contemplation and action. And it's not just for Mary, it's for everyone. We're called to follow her example.
To integrate those things, spiritual practices with compassionate service, find deeper meaning, even in the mundane.
Like even the journey to Bethlehem for Jesus' presentation at the temple, it's given the symbolic meaning.
The spiritual journey we all take towards God, and Mary's willingness to offer her son, knowing the sacrifices.
It's powerful, a symbol of surrender, trust. And the detail, walking barefoot, carrying Jesus, it adds another layer.
Humility, devotion, her actions mirroring the path Jesus will take. Sacrifice, service, it's all there.
So strength, resilience, compassion, spiritual depth. We've seen a lot of Mary in these excerpts.
But we're not quite done. There's this pivotal event at the temple, the encounter with Simeon.
Okay, what happens there?
It's like a turning point. Simeon holds baby Jesus and utters this prophecy, foretelling the future.
A glimpse of what's to come. Sounds intense.
He says Jesus will be a sign that is spoken against, hinting at opposition, controversy. It's a foreshadowing
of the challenges ahead. And for Mary,
he tells her, a sword will pierce your own soul too. Powerful stuff, the pain she'll endure, witnessing her son's suffering.
It's a reminder, even amidst the joy, there's the shadow of sorrow. But even with that, the text paints a pretty amazing portrait of Mary.
It does. Unwavering faith, resilience, compassion, deep connection to God. It's a story that continues to resonate even centuries later.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From Jesus' birth to Egypt and back to Nazareth, Mary's journey is incredible.
It really is. And the mystical city of God doesn't just tell her story, it makes some bold claims.
Right, about her role in Christianity as a whole. It goes way beyond just being Jesus' mother.
Exactly. It elevates her, positions her as this central figure in the whole story of salvation.
Almost like she's essential to it all, not just a participant.
You could say that. She's battling evil, interceding for humanity, drawing down God's grace. It's a lot.
And it makes me think of that co-redeemer concept. Big debate, right? Especially back then.
Oh, for sure. Co-redeemer is complex. Some see it as Mary having an equal role with Christ in saving humanity. Others focus on her cooperation with God's plan. This text definitely leans towards that idea.
Especially with all the emphasis on her fighting evil, advocating for us. Must have been a hot topic in 17th century Spain.
Yeah, Mary's veneration was huge then, so this portrayal probably fit right in. But it also might have sparked some debate about how exactly her role worked.
Interesting how a text from so long ago can still make us think about these things. But beyond those big theological questions,
It also really highlights Mary's personal example. Like, she's a model for believers, how to live.
her virtues, humility, obedience, faith, it's like the text is saying this is how you grow spiritually.
A blueprint, a path towards God. But it doesn't make her out to be this untouchable, perfect figure either.
That's what I like about it. She struggles, she experiences joy, she lives a real life.
Makes her relatable. We can connect with her as a person, while still recognizing she's extraordinary. Her example, it's something we can learn from.
Okay, but let's be honest. Some of the stuff in here is, well, pretty out there.
The talking baby Jesus, crushing Lucifer's head, angels intervening left and right, it's a lot.
Even for someone who knows the Bible stories, I guess it's important to remember the context.
Totally. 17th century Spain, religious fervor was intense. Mystical experiences were seen as proof of God's favor.
So stuff that seems fantastical to us now probably made perfect sense back then.
Right. It shows us how they understood Mary, how important she was to their faith. We might be more critical today.
But it still gives us that window into their world, their beliefs, their practices, and even centuries later.
Mary's still central to Catholicism, venerated for her purity, compassion, her role as Mother of God.
And this text, as wild as it can be, it reinforces those core beliefs, shows how powerful her story is, even today.
It also reminds us that these interpretations, how we understand religious figures, they can change over time.
So, for you listening, the one who brought us these excerpts, what's the takeaway?
Maybe it's to think about the different ways Mary's story has been told, how those interpretations have evolved.
To dig into the history, the culture surrounding these texts, and to appreciate how people have connected with the divine through figures like Mary.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring the mystical city of God.
We've uncovered so much, Mary's life, her abilities, her role in it all. But the biggest takeaway, for me at least,
What's that?
it's that reminder that faith, spirituality, it can take so many forms, and it can shape lives, inspire hearts across centuries.
Absolutely. And if you're curious to learn more, pick up the full text. There's so much more to discover.
It's a text that keeps you thinking, questioning, even after all this time. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.